It's the day after the concert, obviously. It's nighttime and I've got glitter all over my face. So I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit what happened last night. It was amazing. It was such an amazing night. Of course it was going to be amazing. It was amazing last time. But I went, one thing I did want to touch on was, like, I don't know. One thing I did want to touch on was just, like, my experience. There were some, like, parts that could have gone better on terms of, like, the people running the concert venue. Not Straykids in general, obviously, because Straykids has no control over, like, how things are run because it's through a company and not through them. So, like, we got there to the venue. This is Atlanta, by the way. We got to the venue, and it was a whole lot more chaotic than any concert I've ever been to, and I'm comparing this to, like, other experiences and comparing it to the experience I had with the first Stray Kids concert. So it was a little chaotic, and people were everywhere. It was just, I could sense dysfunctional, like, I just could sense dysfunction, and like, the people running the place were stressed out, like, overly stressed, and, like, it seemed like there was stuff going on behind the scenes that we weren't seeing. And I mean, of course, dealing with a large crowd can be stressful, but I feel like other venues I've been to have been less stressful, and the people working the venues look like they are enjoying their time. And of course, some of the stays did break rules, I'm sure, and could cause stress to the people working the venue. But I felt like it was a whole lot more calm the first time. But then again, it could have been a completely different company. But, like, it felt out of control. It felt stressful for them, stressful for fans a little bit, and I'm not going to pull this out as, like, oh, I got in early because I didn't have to go through the line. I have a disability, so the way that the venue line was set up was it was going all the way back, and it was, like, three, like steep hills and, like, up and down, like, hills and roads and stuff. And it was just a very long line, very dysfunctional, very long line. And so, I mean, knowing me, because I can't handle that long, especially in humidity that's really high here in Atlanta, especially with the weather the way it's been going. So I ended up going into the thing immediately. Like, I was escorted into security immediately because the people I was with, they were like, hey, can we get some accommodations because she can't handle this, which, to be frank, I couldn't. I was already losing my breath and already tired, and I couldn't, and I don't want to strain myself before a concert. And given the circumstances I found out after the concert, with people not getting in until, like, an hour after the concert started, I was just, like, so confused. They didn't move people in enough. I don't know what they were doing. They didn't look like they knew what they were doing at all with this video. Like, they just did not look like they knew. They were stressed out. They didn't look like they knew nothing. They looked clueless half the time. And this is just a personal experience. And, like, I mean, they were helpful whenever it came to, like, escorting me in, but they looked stressed to the point that they could not run a place properly because of how much stress they were under. And I get it. Working and doing that can be stressful, but, like, you have to know how to function in the middle of stress. You have to know what you're getting yourself into, and I don't think they were ready. And I think the people that they chose were not ready for that and didn't know how to handle it because I don't think they had enough experience. And this is coming from someone who works at a fast food restaurant. There's a lot of chaos, and I have to handle lots of people. And yes, it can get stressful, but you have to know. You have to keep a clear mind and not let stress catch up to you. So that's just based on experience. But, like, to not get in an hour after the concert starts is absolutely insane to me. But I also want to add to the dysfunction was when we left the concert and we got to the stairs to leave. I made it up the stairs, obviously, and we were walking outside the venue. I don't know what the hell security was doing, but it was, like, guiding us to where, like, there was a huge crowd and there was nobody going anywhere. Nobody could do anything, basically. And they were trying to get everyone rallied up or whatever into, like, a huge crowd. And knowing me having sensory issues, I ended up having a panic attack and nearly fainted because of the dysfunction. And some people may not have seen the venue as, like, poorly ran, but if you've seen me in my condition, it was, I don't know, it scared me. I'm not saying this to be a sensitive person, but I couldn't handle a large crowd like that, especially with so much chaos and not knowing what was happening or what was going on because nobody knew what they were doing. So yeah, that's basically my experience. But the thing was, is, like, also when I had to, like, get escorted outside of the crowd because I was literally going to, like, faint. I could not walk. I got to the point where I was panicking and I could not walk. I became a statue, and my legs I just got dizzy, and I got overwhelmed, and I got weak, and it was scary, really, really scary to see that in much dysfunction. It really, really traumatized me a little bit. I didn't feel safe when being surrounded by people running a venue that didn't look like they knew what they were doing. I could sense that they didn't know what they were doing, and also on top of that, I was exhausted. We just got out of the concert. Of course, it's gonna be tiring, and I'm a little strained, so that doesn't help. But when I got to the side and I was sitting down on the sidewalk, and I was just, like, sitting there kind of dazed because there was just so much, and the people I was with was trying to get security or whatever to, like, get to where I could walk because I could not, and they kept wanting to, I don't know, the thing was, is, like, I don't know, I don't know, and it was, like, it's still a fog for me, it still is a fog, but it got to where when I was sitting on the sidewalk, and the people I was with was like, hey, can we get, like, somebody to, like, walk me or whatever, or someone to help me, like, get to where I need to because we were Ubering, or, like, to get to my Uber to where I could get closer to it without, like, falling or something because, you know, because I was in business room and I couldn't. And so that guy disappeared, that we finally got to, like, go and get accommodations to help me. He never came back, and I was there for about 20 minutes, not staggering, but sitting there dazed, trying to gain my composure after what I had just been through. And so when I finished, when eventually I felt like 20 minutes. I don't know if it was 20 minutes. I was too emotional to pay attention. But eventually, whenever I was one of the people I was with, we decided that we weren't going to wait any longer. So we left before anybody could get back to us because we weren't waiting around. They weren't helping. They kept wanting to call the security. We just wanted something to help me get to where I could go to an Uber. Not emergency. It was not an emergency to the point where it was that much of an emergency that I needed to go to the hospital or something, or the emergency. We didn't need that much of an emergency. We just needed someone to get me to a car. That was it. They couldn't even get that. And the funny part was, is like they kept having like wheelchairs and escorts driving them outside of the blockade at the front entrance that was keeping the crowd that I had to be escorted out of to the side. And they were pushing wheelchairs outside and nobody could help us. Like, I don't know. That freaked me out. I'm only sharing this because I'm trying to add to people's stances on like how chaotic the venue was for Truist Park for Straykids Atlanta. Like, that's the only thing I can add to it is they weren't being helpful. They were stressed. They kept telling people not to do something and then to go somewhere. And also I also remember another detail was they kept telling people one side so we were in a blockade and they kept telling someone to go this way. And then when they would go the way that they were told to go, the people on the other side, no, you need to go that way. And it was just like going back. It's like nobody could choose. It was just so much. And then I eventually got to, like, whenever I eventually was able to gain up composure to walk again and recover from whatever the hell I just went through, we were just sitting there on the sidewalk or whatever, and security was like, no, you need to move or whatever, so we had to move. And so we moved eventually, but it just, I don't know what went on with that, but it was so much. It was way too much. I get it that Straykids are big and serious, but they just did not know what they were doing whatsoever, and I don't even know how to run a video, and I think I would have done 10 times better with, like, organization than anything. Or I think, I don't think I could have. That's a little too overconfident. But I think that there could have been better people to run a better venue because of my last experience at a Straykids concert in Atlanta, about in 2023. But that's it. Yeah. I'm still recovering, and I'm still crying over the fact that I have not been able, I'm still crying over the fact that the concert's over too, so take that in mind. But I just wanted to share my experience and hope that they could do better. And this is not to ask for Straykids to apologize to me for what went down with them. I don't need Straykids to apologize to me for what I went through. I just am saying this so that they can do better to, like, run the place so that people don't go through what I went through. That would cause sensory overload and anxiety and fear. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will.